Closest church around.
Is it?
It sure
I didn't know
is.
that. Well, that's
Sure
good.
is.
That's a lot then for
For it to be a little community like it is.
yeah. It's true. It is.
But we got a lot of folks that comes from our church that comes from south down in there around Mount Olive Church and down in that way, and then out towards Oakdale. These comes them that's closest back to our church from Oakdale has left the Oakdale church and come to our church.
Yeah.
And then there's some that's moved from Mount Olive, and there's 3 or 4 different people from different churches that's moved their letters there since we've been there. I know from Mount Olive and Oakdale and then another Slide. They moved from Slide there.
Good. They're growing fast then, aren't they? Ours is starting to grow now that we got that new preacher. Ours is really starting to grow again.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I am too.
Radio out there.
I am too. What are you gonna do, huh? Daddy's over there. Lucy's taking him.
What's that thing do?
The television camera. Looks like playing with a TV camera. I guess you can't tell that, can you?
I can remember when Daddy used to play with his little boys.
Yeah.
Get out and play with them just like
It's like he's a kid too, wasn't it? Yeah.
it does children good, but it appears to take up time with them that way.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, y'all haven't done that for me, yeah.
We haven't. Yes, we have.
You haven't played with me.
You need to go be finding some rocks there. She's got a rock collection to do at school.
A rock class.
A rock collection. She's got to make a rock collection to take to school.
Oh,
Her grade. She hasn't done very much on it.
you ought to go home to me and go to up on the Warrior Creek to the big old rocks, and you'll find all kinds of things.
Who's over there?
There's not a whole lot of places to look around here for rocks that she doesn't already have. But she does pick up a lot of rocks wherever we go. She picks up some rocks. She still has on her church dress. She didn't change her clothes. Of course, it doesn't matter if we're going back to church tonight.
Yeah. I don't know where we for those church or not.
Well, that depends on how you feel when it's time to go to church.
Started I hate to miss a night or a day for anything.
Yeah. Well, this guy was good. This was a real good revival that we had. But it sure was tiring. We were tired by Thursday night.
Yeah.
Going to church every Thursday night. But I tell you what, a week of Bible school will do you in for about 2 months. It wears you out. Bible school will, I know. But every night, that week we went to church, we didn't miss a single service. And we were tired by right after Thursday night. We were really tired.
You're sort of glad that was over with for that time. I felt that way a few times myself.
After working all day and then come home rushing to go to church, you really get tired. I think it's good that they only last 3 and 4 nights. I think they're more effective that way.
Yeah, because you get sore out till you're not interested in what's being said.
That's right. You go too long and you don't get anything out of what's being said. You're sitting there thinking, I sure would wish you'd shut up so I could
fool with for a while.
So you go home and rest.
Go home and rest.
I know how that is. I got real sleepy today.
I went to the woods with my dad and some more men over on Ocapilco Creek on kind of, well, it wasn't right in front of Oakdale Church. It was down about a mile below. But it was over on the Ocapilco Creek. Frank Norman had a lot of big old timber in there that had never had a turpentine box in it, and big old round trees. And you know he give all that timber for him to saw down to make the frame and then to build Oakdale Church. And my dad took us all one day and we went there and stayed 2 or 3 hours and watched them saw away the trees. Drag them off to the sawmill. They had on the framings. They were sawing the framing then for the church.
Oh, that's nice. That was interesting, wasn't it?
That was in 1900. When it was.
How old were you then?
It's been nearly 100 years ago now. It's been 90 years ago.
Yeah. How old were you then in 1900?
I was 7 years old, but I remember seeing them since all them trees.
It really made an impression, didn't it?
Yes, sir. You know, that was some enthusiasm to children, you know.
Yeah.
I saw them trees. And then they had old mules and log carts, and they'd drive the cart up and straddle the log and hook it all up, and the old mules would go dragging it off out to the little old sawmill, and they'd saw it up and make the framing for the church. They wasn't making. We bought the dressed timber from Moultrie from the big where the dress along.
Yeah.
But they cut them big trees and got them big hard. So you know that was good timber then.